if we're going to talk about spooky, ghosty stories, there's Ashbury Park.
Let's hear about Ashbury Park.
Okay, so
Ashbury?
I think it's Asbury.
Oops.
Like
Asbury.
We could call it Asbury.
Asbury? All right. We'll call it Asbury.
But I really, like, I should have done some research because I didn't know how many stories we were going to talk about. I thought we were going to maybe dig into like one of these stories, but if we're going
into all of them.
If we're going to go full throttle into every single story, then we should like at least touch base on what happened in Asbury. I think it's, I don't know. I don't know what they call it in Jersey, but it's in Jersey. Asbury. Everyone, anyone from New Jersey will hate us right now. They'll be like, "You're saying it wrong."
It's Asbury, we know what it is.
Which, I mean, New Jersey is pretty creepy.
It is so creepy.
Yeah,
so creepy.
Like I remember, like, okay, so my husband was playing with TSOL, so he was touring like all over the East Coast at this point, and I just came out to see maybe like 5 shows, and I went to like New York, Philadelphia, New Jersey. New Jersey was basically right after Halloween night. Was the next show was New Jersey, and that was he was playing the Stone Pony, and we were going to be staying. It was right on the ocean because the Stone Pony is like, I'm not really clear with the direction. I wasn't driving. I was just in the car and being like, let's stay there. Making the bad decisions. Like, look that's our big, cool hotel.
Making the bad decisions.
Let's eat at that restaurant and stay right there. And then you play right there and
we're done.
Then we're done. And so, because the way that those guys tour is they just like they're very like, they stay in their little compartments. There's 4 players. They, basically stay with their little family, whoever's touring with them. And then you just find your own hotel. Nothing's like really arranged. So you can pick which, some things were arranged, but some things weren't. This wasn't. Like, it was basically like, stay where you want. So we picked this hotel, and so we go to the show. Everything's cool. I noticed earlier in the day, it was kind of like Boardwalk Empire. I was like, oh, this is like Boardwalk Empire. Like, the whole, it was the only time I've ever been there that I can think of. And they have the whole, like, wood, you're like, walk out there. What is it? It's like a beach with, like, a huge, like, walkway that's, like, wood, like, next to the ocean. Yeah, boardwalk. That's what's Boardwalk Empire.
Weird.
So weird.
It's not
boardwalk.
just a...
So, and and there was this really cool, like, well, to me it looked cool, but it was like this huge, it looks like a pier that went out, and there was this huge building attached to the pier, but you could tell it was all broken windows, like empty. It looked like ancient and very cool, like where I was taking pictures of it. I was like, this is so cool. Like, what is this? Like, and the ocean was really creepy. It was beautiful, kind of creepy to me at this time because I hadn't stayed in the hotel yet. I was like admiring it for the artistic, like, creepiness of it. And then we get into the hotel room and we have our little girl with us, who I think at the time was like 6 or 7. And we get in late. We go up, we think nothing of the floor we're on, anything. We're just like, go up to bed. It's like, I'm really distracted taking care of a kid. And I like get into the room, we're all settling in, and I like notice that the little dresser next to the bed just keeps opening up, and I like close it, and then it like would open up again, and then I'd close it, and I'm like, what is wrong with this thing? Like, it's like rolling out and like kept rolling back at me, and then like I'd push it. It was like real soft roll. It wouldn't like come out hard, but it would just be like, so I was like kind of investigating it, and my daughter was like, it keeps rolling open, and so that was like rolling drawer. We'll call that like just rolling like, drawer. This is like first symptom
something's not right here.
Something's not right in this room. And then we're like laying in bed trying to put her to bed, and the door handle just kept like jiggling on the door to the room where I thought someone was trying to come into the room. So I like someone was at the wrong room, or, so I went over the door, opened up the door, looked down the hallway. These are like curved hallways. First of all, they're not straight hallways in this hotel. It's like a slight slant. So like I'm looking out, I'm like, there's nobody out here. I go back in, close the door is not rattling. Then the door starts rattling like repeatedly, up to the point where I was like, screw the door. Like, it's just a rattly old door.
Right.
Right.
It's the wind.
it's the wind, right?
In the room.
Which we'll get to, the wind. Okay? So then...
Foreshadowing.
Yeah. So this is like symptom number 2. Then there was like, well, first, before we get to the wind, we're going to talk about the party that was going on upstairs. So like there was like a massive party. It sounded like people were just like dancing. Like you could hear like glasses clinking. Like people were like, you know, making it like it was like they were eating. Like you could hear like this talking. Like it sounded like a crowd of people like at a New Year's. I'm getting chills talking about it. Like there was like people chattering, talking, and like it sounded like just this huge party. Like I thought like New Year's party kind of thing, but it's November 1st. So Halloween just happened, and like that was kind of spooky in New York. But it wasn't like this. But I was like, this is weird, you know, to have a party.
Sure.
You know, all like this late at night in a hotel where everyone can hear you, you know, like underneath. And so I just really didn't think much of that until the next morning. The next morning, like after really not sleeping very much at all because of the door and the party and everything that was happening, there was like this howling wind that was like really loud, like howling, like just where it was like whistling, like really like you think this torrential rain, like or a storm, or like it's like howling so badly. And so we get all of our stuff, we're like leaving, and the first thing we noticed was that there was no way there would have been a party above us because we were on the top floor, or it was like no parties. And like then we're going down the elevator, we walk out the front door, and there's literally no wind. And we were like, I freaked. I was like, oh my gosh, like there was definitely wind. Like we were hearing it was so loud, like it was howling. This is in the morning, like howling, like, and it wasn't howling the night before. Like it was only howling in the morning. And literally I like looked up this, I can't even remember the hotel, but if you look up Ashbury Park or whatever it is, Ashbury Park.
You might
it's
get
the
something
only
else there.
hotel that's right there, and it's right on the boardwalk, and it is the creepiest hotel. And there's a bunch of like ghost hunters and stuff that go there, and they like, it's like legitimately haunted. And I guess there was like a psych ward or something. That thing I had been admiring was like an abandoned psych ward.
Oh my God.
So like, yeah, I was like, this place.
Like, this is the one, guys.
Like if you ever want like to not sleep in a hotel and just sit there and freak out, because like the drawer was the first sign, but like it could be explained away. You know, like everything I kept like explaining away. But then the wind, that was my like, there's no deal. And the party.
The party is so crazy.
Like we were like hearing glasses clinking and people talking, and like it was, we were sure they were like walking around above us, like, and all 3 of us heard it. Like all 3 of us were just like, oh my gosh, like there's no way there wasn't a party above us. Like it was really crazy.
And that was top floor. You were top floor.
Yeah. We were either top floor or there was no, like the floor. Me and my husband, we kind of debate on the topic. Like what we just knew, the floor above us was like, you couldn't even go to the floor above us if there was a floor above us. I think we were on the top floor, but we kind of debate back and forth on this small detail. Because
that's so crazy.
I think we even might have asked someone when we were downstairs like about it, and they was like, no, that floor is closed. Something like we were both like, there's no way. There was like a huge party like all night long. So it was pretty crazy.
Oh, I'm getting tears.
Yeah. Like I still get chills. It was probably the most haunted like I ever felt in my entire life.
What even drew you to that place? Just random?
Well, it was really close to the Stone Pony. Like literally if you're at the Stone Pony, it's right across the street. Like literally it's like diagonal.